gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the greatest show on earth, the Dvine Kids Circus. Be prepared to be amazed and captivated by the most magnificent, most dangerous adventures this series will have to offer. Sit back and enjoy the show.
His signs are great, his wonders are mighty, his kingdom will last forever. His rule will never end. Daniel 4:3.
When I wake up, every night when I sleep, I have the joy of the Lord, and He is my strength. When I'm feeling happy, or if I'm sad and blue, I can always trust the Lord, 'cause what He says is true. Oh, I have life. When I wake up, every night when I sleep, I have the joy of the Lord, and He is my strength. When I'm feeling happy, or if I'm sad and blue, I can always trust the Lord, 'cause what He says is true. Whoa, I have life. Whoa, I have peace. Whoa, I have joy, 'cause Jesus gives life to me. Whoa, I have life. And whoa, I have peace. Whoa, I have joy, 'cause Jesus gives life to me. Jesus gives life to me. Jesus gives life to me.
Now you see him, now you don't. Welcome Peter, the escape artist.
Hey Divine Kids, welcome back to our series, The Bible Circus. I'm Josue, and today I'm going to talk to you about Peter, the escape artist. But before we do, I want to ask, don't you think it's crazy how much danger these performers put themselves into? Like the first week, we talked about how lion tamers, they would go into cages with lions and tigers. Then we talked about high wire artists and trapeze artists, how they would go they would work in high areas, and at the bottom there was no net to catch them in case they fell. Then we talked about fire eaters and how they would jump through hoops, flaming hoops. Like I can't even imagine jumping through a regular hoop, let alone one that's on fire. Then we talked about strongmen, and these men, they would catch cannonballs with their stomach. Like that's asking for a stomach ache. But today we're going to talk about another circus performer, which is the escape artist. Now, these daring performers, they would be put in straitjackets, they would be put on handcuffs, and sometimes they would even be put in giant tanks of waters. You know, men like Harry Houdini, they would be put in prison cells that man devised, and moments later they would be outside of the prison. They would just find a way out. Now they would cheat death, escape from the most impossible situations. They would be tied up, dropped in a tank of water, and chained up. And moments later, they would be found outside, safe and sound. They would be outside of their watery tombs. Men like Harry Houdini, who just could pick just about any lock and escape from legitimate challenges. Most escape artists, they have some sort of trick up their sleeve. They know a way to get out of these things, because you don't allow yourself to be bounded up, dunked in water, and locked in a watery cabinet unless you have a foolproof plan to escape. But unfortunately, there's tragic incidents where some escape artists, they would panic and they would just forget the plan that they had to get out of that. And but it's in those moments, those failures, that other escape artists, they would figure out where they went wrong and they would perfect that trick. But with all that being said, sometimes life puts us in sticky situations that makes us feel trapped. Like, for example, if you're at a friend's house and for whatever reason they decide to do something that isn't right, and you start to think to yourself, well, all my other friends are doing it, so why shouldn't I? Or another example, you may feel trapped because your family is in a bad situation. A parent is out of a job and you might have to move. And no matter what they try to do, nothing seems to get better. Like, how in the world are you going to escape? And honestly, it's in moments like these that we should remember a man in the Bible that was trapped in a hopeless situation. This man was facing jail. This man was facing death. But then God did something amazing. It tells you in Acts chapter 12, verse 1 through 17, it tells you the story of Peter. Ask a parent to go read that to you. But at this moment, I'm going to read to you Acts chapter 12, 6 and 7. And it goes like this. Now, when Herod was about to bring him out, on that very night, Peter was sleeping between two soldiers, bound with two chains, and sentries before the doors were guarding the prison. And behold, an angel of the Lord stood next to him, and a light shone in the cell. He struck Peter on the side and woke him, saying, "Get up quickly." And the chains fell off of his hands. At this moment, Peter had long accepted that he was going to die. He was willing to die for Jesus, and he was willing to lay down his life for the gospel. Although Peter would later on die for his faith, it was not going to be on that night. God had more work for Peter, and he made a way for Peter to escape. God was faithful to his faithful servant. And Peter's miraculous escape just reminds us that God is all-powerful, and no matter how bad things may be, God is still in control. Where we see no way out, God makes a way out. What makes Peter's escape so amazing is that there was nothing that he could have done to get himself out of that. There was no escape. There was two men, standing next to him, and there was two men at the door. How was Peter going to get out if he was chained? There was no clues lying around. There was no key on the floor that he could just pick up and unlock his chains. It was an impossible situation. Peter needed a miracle to escape that situation. And a miracle is exactly what God did. God made a way when there was no way. And he still does miracles like that today. Some of you may be in a tight spot in life right now. Maybe it's a home situation. Maybe it's a problem at school. I don't know. But it's in these hopeless situations, and it seems like there's no situation to be found. God already has a way out for you. And if you just trust him to guide you, he will show you the way out. He's going to show you the way to go. God saved his servant Peter from this certain doom. Like, Peter was moments away from dying, and God saved him. God led him out. And whatever trouble you may be facing, God will save you too.
Signs are great, his wonders are mighty, his kingdom will last forever. His rule will never end. Daniel 4:3.